Good morning. How the devil are you doing this fine day? Me? Well, it was touch and go whether I was actually going to be here today. I woke up this morning to find I had precisely zero internet, and then suddenly it sprang back into life about 25 minutes ago. Thankfully, this was one of those rare occasions when the show was pretty much in place late last night. So aside from having to pull together the intro at the very last minute, I'm hoping you won't see the joins or the panic on my face. But enough of my woes. But speaking of woes, can I quickly recommend two things? First of all, our friend Nigel Williams has a new podcast episode out. It was produced to coincide with World Mental Health Day on Monday, but I finally got around to hearing it late last night. The episode is called Empty Platitudes and Virtue Signalling. It's very good, even if the subject matter is pretty dark and somber. You can listen to it on any good podcast platform and a few rubbish ones as well, or you just go and search for From the Seat of the Cab. Going to say a very good morning to James Doble, who's just joined us. And while I'm about it, let me post in the chat. If you have a look now, you should see a direct link to our friend Nigel's latest podcast episode. As I say, highly recommended. Completely unconnected to all of that. If you're looking for something good to watch on the telly and you have access to Apple TV, I can personally recommend 5 Days at Memorial. It's about Hurricane Katrina and its impact on a hospital in New Orleans. Very good. Finished watching it last night. Now, without further ado, let me roll the intro, post the question of the day, and get this show on the road. Welcome to the Breakfast Show. I'm your host, Mark Anthony. It is Wednesday, the 12th of October, and as that remarkably persistent guy just said, welcome to the Breakfast Show. I am your host, Mark Anthony. In today's show, we're going to be dozing with John Deere. We're using virtual reality to glimpse a possible construction future on our road to Bauma. Scottish Power projects a fossil-free future. And we're going green with Merlo. Plus, we will be featuring some of the most out-of-shape superheroes you are ever likely to see. I can't even begin to explain what that looks like, but stick around. It's at the end of the show. We're going to get to all of that in just a second. But first, let's see who among the rich and the shameless will be celebrating a birthday on this day of days. Happy birthday! And it's many happy returns to former British Prime Minister Ramsay MacDonald and to Brian Cobby. Who's Brian Cobby, I hear you ask? He was the voice, actually, of the British-speaking clock. What a claim to fame. For those of you too young to remember, there was a time when you could phone a number, and it may well have been the number 123 on an old dial-up phone, and the talking clock would tell you the precise time. What was that all about? Happy birthday also to Italian tenor Luciano Pavarotti, to one half of Sam and Dave, Sam Moore, professional wrestler Dusty Rhodes, and to Rick Parfitt from Status Quo. Met him a couple of times, smashing fella. To comedy actor Robin Asquith, to the man with the claws, Wolverine actor Hugh Jackman, disgraced athlete Marion Jones, and to a number of footballers, Ledley King, Shola Amiobi, and Henri Lansbury. Many happy returns to them, one and all. Given that this show is a joint effort between my Demolition News channel and my son's Diggers and Dozers channel, I sometimes feel like the dozer bit is a bit kind of underrepresented. It's not that I don't like dozers, far from it, but finding good footage of dozers in action in interesting places is not always easy. However, thanks to the fine folks at John Deere, today we hit pay dirt.
I'm impressed with the fact that the machine has got an hydrostatic drive. The repair of a transmission on a conventional dozer less than what you would normally spend on a machine that's got clutches and gears. As far as the serviceability of the machine is concerned, which we are always tied up with, as with regards to space, I really like the space of the machine, especially in front at the radiator cooler side. It's very accessible, one can get in there. There's also a lot of space between the engine and the outside compartment, which makes the accessibility also very nice. Second to that, the cab can tilt. On a normal dozer, one have to always remove the cab completely in order to get to the components. In this case, the cab can tilt back. As far as the air conditioning side is concerned, sitting at the back of the cab makes it more accessible, elevated from the normal position where it normally is. I would think that the air filters will last a lot longer. As far as the hydraulic system is concerned, very much impressed with the split hydraulic system, which will also ensure that if you do happen to have a failure on one compartment, you don't have to flush the whole system. And we do find that this machine runs at about between 35 and 40 liters an hour, if I'm correct, versus the other competitors in the same class running up until almost 60 liters an hour. So quick analysis of that, and I'm sure that's got to do with the effectivity of the hydrostatic drive versus the conventional transmission.
It's another cracking film from the fine folks at John Deere, and I'll be calling by their stand at Bauma, about 2 weeks from today, I would imagine. About a week ago, we brought you a film of a Merlo telehandler demonstrating its prowess in a quarry application. At the time, I said I thought it was the first time we'd ever featured the mean green machines from Merlo. Well, now it's the second time, and this time the machines are in a far more familiar surrounding of a construction application. Yeah, between Merlo and Sennebogen, I'm expecting some of my Bauma coverage to be a rather fetching shade of green. And speaking of Bauma, guess where we're headed next?
The Miller GT series heralds a new era of unrivaled power and cutting-edge intelligent coupler technology, increasing job site safety, machine versatility, and productivity. It's the added versatility that you need at the value you can afford. To find out more, visit millergroundbreaking.com.
There may come a time in the not-too-distant future when a visit to Bauma might be rather different. Rather than travelling to Munich, visitors may travel just as far as their armchair. Rather than reaching for a beer and a pretzel, they'll reach for a VR headset. And rather than meeting people in person, they will meet them in virtual reality. Yeah, I'm all for progress, but I think I'll stick with the physical Bauma if you don't mind. Speaking of Bauma, make a note in your diary. Next Wednesday, basically 7 days from today. So what is that? That is Wednesday the 19th. Wednesday the 19th of October. We're going to be doing one of our evening shows, a breakfast show after dark, and it will be a pre-Bauma special. We're going to pull together all of the stuff that we have of what is going to be on show at Bauma. You would have seen some of it. You may well have seen all of it, but we're going to do one dedicated show all about Bauma and what we're looking forward to seeing. So join us 7 p.m. on Wednesday the 19th. I'll be reminding you between now and then anyway, but Wednesday the 19th, put that note in your diary.
Since the finance bill came into effect in April, the construction industry has seen a surge of fuel thefts. The rising cost of living has placed an additional risk of theft by employees and contractors, as well as opportunistic thieves. By using diesel dye and placing warnings of its use, you are sending a clear message that this is your fuel.
Men of a certain age may well remember that night in 1999 when the magazine FHM beamed an image of a naked Gail Poulter onto the Houses of Parliament. And that's what she looked like. You can feel free to insert your own joke about the biggest arse in the Houses of Parliament anytime you feel free. You just carry on. But projection technology has come a long way in the 23 years since that publicity stunt. Just before the just before the demise of the Longannet power station in Scotland, that technology was used to display an environmental message about the end of fossil fuels. And this is what it looked like. Yeah, not as attractive as a naked Gail Poulter, I grant you, but a projection more in keeping with modern times, perhaps. And speaking of modern times, if you've been following our WhatsApp group today, you'll know our feelings on modern times. Yeah, I just mentioned our WhatsApp group. If you would like to be a part of it, I've just posted a link to that in the chat. You can sign up free of charge, obviously, like everything we do, free of charge. Now, I hardly know where to begin. I'm going to show you a thing to end today's show. It comes from a YouTube channel called Fat TV, which has more than 6 million subscribers. The video I'm about to show you, the last time I looked, has almost 150,000 views. I could try to describe it to you, but I don't think I have the words. All I will say is that this guy is very agile for a big lad.
What do you want from me, escalator? I will smash you, Spider-Man! Face me, Hulk! die, Superman!
What the bloody hell was that all about? Those are grown men wearing ill-fitting superhero costumes, pretending to fight a backhoe loader. And that channel is probably making millions of dollars each year. Now, where did I put my Spider-Man costume?
Sorry to interrupt the guy with the funny glasses, but if you're enjoying this video, please hit the like button as it helps our channel. Or, better still, share this video with a friend or a colleague. Thank you. Right, back to Beardy.
Right, that pretty much wraps up the main part of this morning's show. I'm going to roll the outro in just a second before leaping gazelle or salmon like to take your pick over into the chat to see what you're all saying today. If you can't stick around, then please stay safe, look after yourself, your family, your friends and your colleagues. Have a great day and thanks for watching. But if you do have the time and the inclination, I'll see you after this.